This man spent his life perfecting his fighting skills, only to find enlightenment in not having to use them. It's the perfect distillation of any art, reducing everything to its essence, its most perfect form.
To understand the way of the warrior, you have to understand that being a samurai means being a killing machine. Always grip your sword with the thought of killing. Do not think dishonestly. The way is in training. Understand the harm and benefit in everything. Be careful even in small matters. Do nothing which is of no use. Respect the gods and Buddhas, but do not rely on them. Take from others everything they have and use it to your advantage.
Sword technique.
When facing superior numbers, the spirit is to chase the enemies around from side to side, even though they come from all four directions. Always quickly reassume your attitudes to both sides. Cut the enemies down as they advance, crushing them in the direction from which they attack. Whatever you do, you must drive the enemy together, as if trying a line of fishes, and when they are piled up, cut them down strongly without giving them a chance. It is the duty of all warriors, commanders and soldiers to carry two swords at their belt. It is the way of the warrior. Students of each school, way of strategy, should train from the start with the long sword in one hand. To wield the long sword with both hands is not the true way. In combat, it is essential to keep thinking of stabbing your opponent in the face with the point of your sword. He will try to get his face and his body out of the way. An opponent who tried to get out of the way has already lost. Let there be no change in your grip even when slashing opponents. Your hand should not flinch. Fixation is the way to death. Fluidity is the way to life. It is important to be aware of your opponent's swords and yet not look at your opponent's swords at all. This takes work. It will seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first.
I think any battle must deeply affect you, but hand-to-hand fighting on this kind of bloody scale must change the way you see everything for the rest of your life. It must have been like a vision of hell.
I trust only my sword in this world. When I fight, I have no family. The art of the shuriken is the art of throwing a short sword and must remain secret. It can only be used by surprise for a decisive result.
It's the only nation on Earth whose sole occupation for 1,000 years was to perfect the art of war.
My way is literally one of life and death. When you are faced with a person intent on slicing you with a 4-foot razor blade, you cannot make a mistake. The teacher is the needle, and the disciple is the thread. When forced to wait for the consent of others, train harder and renew your focus. Go to places uncommon to other men. Imagine your enemy and cut him down again and again. Force him back against steps, door jambs, rocks and trees. Never let him settle. Use your surroundings to your advantage. Examine your environment. When the fight comes, chase the enemy around to your left side. Chase him towards awkward places and try to keep him with his back to awkward places. Be steady on your feet as if you're walking a thin bridge stretching high across mountains. Do not become distracted. Pay no attention to others, but watch everything they do. It is imperative to master the principles of the art of war and learn to be unmoved in mind even in the heat of battle. Your gaze should be steady. Never allow your enemy to see what you are thinking. Keep your eyes unmoving and try not to blink. Maintain a serene expression. I determined all the more to reach a clear understanding of the deep principles of the Bushido Code. Bushido Code. Bushido Code. By void, I mean that which has no beginning and no end. It expressly deals with that which cannot be seen. By knowing things that exist, you can know that which does not exist.
The paradox of Musashi's life is that by facing death on the battlefield and by perfecting his sword technique, he was able to transcend all earthly fear and find peace. Enlightenment by the art of the sword. This enlightenment is what makes Musashi an atypical warrior and separates him from the rest.
Do not sleep under a roof. Carry no money or food. Go alone to places frightening to the common run of men. Become a criminal on purpose. Be put in jail and extricate yourself by your own wisdom.
All this wisdom in a young man, still only 21.